Okay, welcome back now for the Tier 1 race at Spain in the Ultimate Racing Championship. It's been an interesting start to the night with the Tier 2 race, and now we're moving on to Tier 1, second race of the night. Unfortunately, it's just going to be myself. Unfortunately, James Baker having problems with his internet, so it's just going to be me and James Casey for this one. By the looks of it at the moment, hopefully we can solve it and we can get him in, but it doesn't look too encouraging at the moment. We've got 15 drivers here today, plenty missing from the Tier 1 grid. There's been a bit of a change at the War LCR team. Their A team is now represented by Leopard and also CRGA Morzo, who's been competing for their B team so far this season. He's now stepping up to the A team because there's no Pinecone this time out. So that's kind of depleted, unfortunately, their B team. And then we're also missing 3 of the ILR drivers. We've got OMG Joe for the black team, the ILR black team there. His teammate Tyrrell Limitless not here today, and also they're not able to get anyone for their gold team in the Mercedes. So 5 drivers missing overall, which is a shame, but it does give an opportunity for these guys now elsewhere on the grid to pick up a good result, I guess, with only 15 of them. But yeah, not what we like to see, but OMG Joe championship leader here, and second place in the championship, VSR Syrah also here. And at the moment, OMG Joe leading the championship by 53 points. Has won every single round so far, but it's been really hard for him. He hasn't won any race easily. They've all been really tight races. Of course, he's won 2 of them through the guy finishing first on track, having penalties in Australia and China, and then in Bahrain he made Bahrain didn't cross the line first either, did he? Because Leopard passed him with an aggressive move that was there, then penalised afterwards, and then he just won out in Baku. So he's had a really tough time of it, but he's come out on top of every single race so far. It's been a fantastic effort from him to win all 4 races, and thoroughly deserved, therefore, to have a big championship lead. But there's no question that this season has been competitive still. It's an odd one. You wouldn't think someone being 53 points up in the championship would constitute a competitive season, but it has been so far. And he'll be looking to carry on this run with a 5th consecutive win, but it's going to be so tough. So I guess we will find out. Syrah at the moment is our fastest time, but on the medium compound tyres, as we see every week, and as we saw in Tier 2, drivers doing laps on the medium compound tyres. That's a brilliant lap there from Joe, and Syrah responds, but still a couple of tenths off. Drivers just going on the medium compound tyres, getting their iron, then going for it later on in the session. So this just gives us a little bit of a taster of who's where, and as you would expect, OMG Joe is quick. And also Syrah there, very quick as well. Again, what you would expect. Let's completely run through this championship then. 101 points for OMG Joe. 4 wins, fastest lap point as well. Then Syrah, a couple of podiums. Let's put him on to 48 points. Level on points with Pinecone, who, as I said, we're not seeing today. And that means Leopard is our next highest ranked driver here today. He's on 47 points, so very close in that battle for second at the moment. 26 points for Limitless, again, he's not here. VSR Infamous finished on the podium in round 1. Hasn't had great results since then, but he's next on 20 points. He's level with Morzo, also on 20 points. And also level with Rosberg on 20 points. So very close to the battle for second, and extremely close. Just behind Limitless there, 6th, 7th and 8th. Of course, with Limitless not there, it's a chance for any one of those guys to move into the top 5 in the championship. So yeah, we'll see what happens. As I said, an opportunity here with 5 drivers missing for things to be really moved around, especially the constructors as well. If we think about that, the gap at the moment is 32 points that ILR Black have over this team here, the War LCR team. Obviously, that's their A team, so they've got both drivers here. Even though they haven't got anyone for their B team, they've decided to move Morzo up into the A team. You're allowed to do that. The only rule is you can't use more than 4 or 5 drivers per season, depending on whether you remove. You can have 5 drivers, but you have to remove someone from your lineup, and they can never compete again. They've decided it's worth putting Morzo in the car for this race, kind of sacrificing their B team and putting everything into their A team for this time out. And if Leopard and Morzo could both get a good result, even if Joe wins, they could still take points out of ILR Black today with Limitless not around. And VSR Red have had a good season so far. They're on 72 points. Sirat and Infamous have done a very good job for those guys. So, yeah, another opportunity again for them. So, really, I think we'll see a different championship by the end of today, possibly. But you never know what will happen in Formula 1, and that's Formula 1. The Formula 1 game is even more unpredictable, I would say. So, strap yourselves in for an interesting night's racing. A couple of cars now coming into the pit lane, and I think the cars who are out there will be coming in very shortly. No one able to match the time of OMG It's Joe so far, but Leopard and Syrah are pretty close, and then KJ Gamer and Morzo aren't too far back either. We've got Top Tom, Rosberg, Danny. Plenty of action last time out at the end of the Baku race, and a lot of drivers missed out on good results, so they'll be looking to make up for that, and one of those. Very unfortunate to miss out on a top result there. Ah, here comes OMG It's Joe. Just about to start a lap now on the super soft compound tyres. We didn't see many drivers trying this. Most people going onto the softs in Tier 2, because that gives you an easy 1-stop, whereas the super softs make it very, very difficult. You probably want to do a 2-stop. Don't know what the weather's like for the race there. You never know if it's a wet race, which we've seen quite a bit of. We saw a lot of rain in China, of course. That was an interesting one. That was wet, dry, wet in that one. I suppose if drivers are starting in the wet, then you would qualify on super soft tyres. This kind of suggests to me that if OMG It's Joe finishes this lap, that there is rain maybe coming in the race. Oh, he's gone very wide there, actually kicking up a bit of gravel. Look at the speed he's carrying through this lap. Obviously those super soft tyres giving us so much grip, and we know he's a fantastic driver as well. To win 4 races, of course he is. But it's still, on a track like this, just seeing him go round, seeing the speed he's carrying. Oh, he's lost it there. Is something to behold. In the end, he's backed. Has he backed out, or did he make a mistake? I think he's backed out. I think he's just having a look at the track on the super soft tyres. Obviously, you have to hand the set back after qualifying anyway, so he might as well just give it a go on those tyres, see what it's like, and then come in and set a time on the softs. Here comes Leopard as well, also on the super soft tyres. Will he settle up? I don't know. I can't see the weather. Obviously they can, because they've got their screen and everything to see whether it's a wet race. So I'll have a look in the chat to see if anything's put that. No one's put anything, so I don't think it is going to be wet. So they are just having a look on these super soft tyres, I believe. Yeah, those drivers now putting on the soft compound tyres. But Leopard here starting a lap on the super softs. Let's just have a look at what kind of speed he can carry on them. Through turns 1 and 2, turn 3 here. Easy flat in modern F1 cars. Don't even need to use all the track. It's just wasting time doing that. These corners here are just about patience, really. Opening the throttle nice and early, but not too early. He's done a nice job through there. Another Fash again here. Again, trying to use some of the AstroTurf now. Be brave, be brave. Need the speed coming through this corner to then have a nice run down the straight, then into the final sector, which, as I spoke about in Tier 2, really, really crucial, because you can lose so much time if you lock a brake like he did there. You can easily lose a lot of time doing that. Into these final chicanes as well. About using the curb, but not too much of it. Got to kind of, yeah, there you go. That's how you want to do it. Don't want to bounce the car off the curbs, but still want to use them to cut your distance down as much as possible. But yeah, it's quite a quick lap nowadays in these F1 cars. They used to be like 125 these laps used to take roundabout, but now they're down to the 117s. And we haven't even seen laps yet. We're down to the 16s. Possibly even the 15s. I can't remember what the pole time was in real life this year, but yeah, short lap nowadays. And that allows them to do that kind of thing. Where in Baku, where it's such a long lap, you've got to think, if I go out on track, I've got to do a lap, an out lap, a lap, an in lap. And you can't really do what you want. You've got to do a little bit less running than you would really like in preference. But here you can go around, do lots of laps on the medium tyres if you want, about 5 laps if there's the time for it, and then chuck on the softs. Everyone on the soft compound tyres, so it is indeed definitely going to be a dry start, at least of the race. Probably a dry race in general. That is definitely the tyre you want to start on. Here comes KJ Gamer starting a lap. We look at him so far this season. He's had 2 tenths and then 2 DNFs, so to be in the top 5 at the moment, he'd be really happy with. He'll be hoping to stay there, but this is the critical phase now with 3 minutes to go. Drivers now starting their out laps or their lap proper. Can have 2 laps if you want, but then you take a little bit of life out of the tyres, run onto the grass there. That's in this lap, surely. Ran onto the grass and got it all out of shape going into the hairpin there. So he would have lost a lot of time. He's still pushing, but I would have thought he would have lost too much time. I think that would be that lap compromised. Yellow out there in sector 2. That's probably just with the car slowing. Obviously so critical that you get a nice clear lap here, because the dirty air is not ideal. Here's the ERL Marvin, a new driver for ERL. And making his first appearance. A comment here. Times between the top 9 are very close at the moment. They are indeed. 7 tenths of a second. Will it be that close towards the end? I think it will. We have seen some very close qualifying recently. A couple of cars have been separated by thousandths of a second in recent times. Oh, MJ's Joe doing a bit of a burnout there. Trying to find a gap in the track. Ah, there we go. That's a proper time there from Syrah. He's the first guy to put in a gap. And now people have got to respond. So, yeah, Joe just trying to find a bit of space on the track, then warming up his tyres nicely there with a bit of a burnout. Yarel Ross goes into pits, his 3rd position. So that'll be his session done. VSR Infamous makes it a VSR Red 1-2 at the moment. Very nice effort from him to put his car into 2nd position. But this is the man that we're looking out for. He's got enough time to do 2 laps, but I think that this will probably be the one that he's hoping to use. Don't want to do 2 laps, if you can avoid it. But he's got to find half a second from his time on the medium compound tyres to go into pole position. Oh, Cyril Rosberg goes very, very close. But Morzo, there we go, that's a good time. 3 tenths of a second quicker than Syrah. As KJ Gamer slots into 4th position now. VSR Verstappen there for the VSR black team into second position. Just over a tenth of a second off. Danny into third. But what can It's Joe do on this, the penultimate lap? He could go for another one. Pole position by a tenth of a second. Just over a tenth of a second at the moment for him. Good effort. Is he going for another one? No. He's backed out. He's happy with that lap. Verstappen's going for another one though. He's still pushing. A couple of cars are now taking the checkered flag. We haven't seen a proper time from Leopard yet. He'll be one of the drivers that'll be right up there. He's just starting his effort now. Let's go to Morzo quickly just to see what he's doing. Morzo's going for another one. He only needs to find just over a tenth. Oh no, he's going into the pits. Rosberg manages to go up to third position just in front of his teammate Verstappen, who we know is one of the drivers going for another lap. Coming into the chicane, trying to line it up nicely onto the straight. Can he improve and move up a position or two? Yes, he can. Up a couple of spots and not far off pole either. Very good effort from Verstappen there. Where's Leopard? Leopard's made a mistake. Leopard's going to be right down in the grid. Disaster for him. He's ran it wide and that's his lap ruined. Siraj's going to be down on the grid as well. He's going to be down in 7th because he's slowing. VSR Infamous is backed out. Top Tom, I think, is our last man on a proper lap. He comes across the line. Can he get into the top 10? Yes, he could go third from him. Oh, there. What an effort. In the Fury Online Racing League, 7th in the championship. And they are up into 3rd on the grid. Fantastic effort there from Top Tom. There we go, that is qualifying done. OMG, it's Joe on pole position. Verstappen put in a great lap there and almost toppled him. But OMG, it's Joe takes it. Tom in 3rd. Hundredths of a second closer. Ahead of Morzo. And it's Rosberg. And a bit of a gap of a couple of tenths to Infamous and Danny. And Siraj, they're all very close. And then KJ Gamer in 9th and Leopard in 10th place. That's very disappointing for him. He's got work to do now. He's lucky, really, that there's 5 people missing. And that there are 5 drivers that are usually competitive. The 2 ILR gold drivers, an ILR black driver, and War LCRB drivers. They're competitive, so he could have easily been 15th on the grid. But look at that, very, very close. 3.5 hundredths of a second there. Between the pair of OMG It's Joe and Verstappen. Top Tom in 3rd, Morzo in 4th, Rosberg 5th, Infamous in 6th, Danny in 7th, Siraj 8th, KJ Gamer, Leopard, Zelchi in 11th. Then it's Ross and Marvin for ERL 12th and 13th. Then it's Flying Rosie and NW Knoll. Didn't set a proper lap because he's 6.5 seconds off the pace. And we'll start from last on the grid. Now, I've got very used to the Tier 2 races, which I've been commentating all of the races so far for that this season, where there's been no formation lap. But yeah, now there's a formation lap for us to have a gander at what people are doing tyre-wise. Of course, the top 10 all set their laps on the soft compound tyres. They will have to start on those tyres. But will other people try the mediums possibly? Don't think we'll see the super softs. That's a stupid idea, to be honest. Just saying it how it is, really. But the medium tyres we did see work. Jam Pancakes picked up 2nd position in the Tier 2 race. With using that strategy of starting on the medium compound tyres. Has anyone watched the Tier 2 race and been inspired by that possibly? Or made the decision by themselves? We will see, I guess. But expect the pit stops to come around about maybe between lap 10 and 13 we saw guys starting on the softs in the Tier 2 race. And then we had the medium tyre runners pitting kind of lap 18 to 20. So asking quite a lot of their soft compound tyres, but you can do that towards the end with a little bit less fuel. You can get a few more laps out of them. What's happening here then? Just got a nice view of the garage here. And nothing really happening. What are we waiting for? Come on, let's get on with it. I think we're all keen for this race to get underway now. But we've just got a bit of a delay here for some reason. Not sure why this is. Alright, it appears we have a problem with the lobby. Because the drivers are having the same issue. So I think, unfortunately, we are going to have to set up a new lobby. So it will be the same grid positions. Because on this game you can set the grid. So we will have to do that by the looks of it, because none of the drivers are going into the formation lap either. I think they've got the same view that I have. Very nice view of the garage here, where there are no cars because all the cars are on the grid. But they're not going anywhere, and the drivers don't have any control. So unfortunately I think we're going to have a new lobby, which is a shame. That will set things back about 10 minutes maybe. In the meantime, we'll stop the stream and we will come back for the race, and hopefully then we won't have any more issues.